visit here is a moment that presents a great opportunity for us as South Africa to renew our bonds of friendship that were created many, many years ago. I've just been able to express how these bonds of friendship started years ago and how we were hugely inspired by the role that Ghana played in the course of our struggle, and how we were also hugely inspired by the iconic leader of the people of Ghana, President Kwame Nkrumah. We've just had a wonderful meeting with President Akufo Addo. The bilateral discussions that we have had have been characterized by a renewed commitment to forge closer partnerships and to deepen our bilateral cooperation. We also directed the ministers to finalize negotiations in a number of other interesting areas. We are determined to forge a strategic partnership between our two countries, and this is informed by, as I said, the historical ties between our two nations. We also decided that we are going to elevate the joint system that we have had between the two nations to a bilateral commission, which will be headed by the two presidents, and that is going to add a great deal of focus as well as momentum. And it will add an impetus of ensuring that the agreements that were arrived at in the past and those that are being negotiated now are finally and fully implemented.
I think that to reinforce what President Ramaphosa has said, the need for close collaboration between our two countries who are working for common purposes on the African continent, to ensure the development of our continent, to ensure that we are masters of our own destiny, that we're going to build an Africa free of foreign control, free of foreign domination, which can respond to the aspirations of our people. That is the big challenge that is confronting the leadership of our nations at this point in our history. And for me, I welcome very much the opportunity to work with a man like President Ramaphosa in furtherance of this big goal. Our continent has everything, and yet we're the poorest people on the face of the globe. That anomaly can no longer continue. And it is because countries under responsible leadership like Ghana and South Africa commit themselves to working together, collaborating over broad areas of mutual interest, that we can advance to that goal. So we're here with a very, very broad-based delegation. We have ministers of finance, national security, agriculture, defense, science and technology, energy, agriculture. All of them are here to be able to engage with their South African counterparts, to find instruments and avenues for developing this mutuality in our two developments. We're there in West Africa. It's a gateway to a market of some 350 million people. Just as you're here, it's a dominant economy of Southern Africa, in fact, on the continent. Believe that a strategic partnership, which President Ramaphosa is talking about, between our two countries, is a very important tool for advancing the interests of our people. So I came here to renew the friendship, to renew the sense of solidarity and cooperation that is between the two of us. Ghana had the great responsibility at the beginning of the decolonization process of taking the lead, because we were the first to be free. And our leader then, Kwame Nkrumah, was very insistent that we had a responsibility to the rest of the continent in speaking out and advancing the cause of freedom. And it is a matter of pride for all Ghanaians that we were able to play this role. And in the process, there are many South Africans who came to our country and established connections that last up till today. We want those connections to be even more heightened in this 21st century, so that the mutuality, the advantages that there are in this cooperation can bring about a more prosperous and more progressive South Africa, a more prosperous and more progressive Ghana. We agree on all the fundamental issues of economic growth, regional security, global governance, support very strongly the reform that is taking place with the African Union to make it a tool fit for purpose in the development of our continent. We support very strongly the African demand for the reform of the main instrument of global governance, which is the United Nations, especially of its Security Council. We believe that much of the dysfunctioning of the global system today is a reflection of the dysfunction in the Security Council, where large numbers of people who were not represented in 1945 in San Francisco are still not represented within the confines of the Security Council. And that there is an urgent need to reform that institution so that it can play a more acceptable role in the resolution of international issues. So we've come here to South Africa to extend the hand of friendship and solidarity and to say we're ready to scale up the relationship. The transformation of the permanent for cooperation, which we're now going to scale up into a binational commission headed by the two presidents, is exactly the right kind of signal for our two countries to develop at this time. It will mean that the undertakings that we will make here in future times will not just be left on the table, because we're going to meet annually. The presidents will have an opportunity to see to what extent the understandings that we've had are being respected. And it becomes a very big tool for accountability and for ensuring progress. So I'm delighted at the opportunity to be here, my delegation. I came here also with my wife, Rebecca, and the South African hospitality, proverbial, very warm, very brotherly. We appreciate it very much. And I'm particularly happy that my period as president of Ghana has coincided with the emergence of President Ramaphosa, Matamela Ramaphosa, as president of South Africa. Mr. President, we're grateful for the invitation. We're very, very happy to be here. Thank you very much indeed.